Hello, and welcome to the fourth in a series of training videos for the HCSS mobile app. In this video, we're going to cover the creation of a time card. Future videos will cover more details on the time card. This one will just focus on creating the time card, getting the employees and equipment time card. As always, we'll start by tapping on the HCSS field icon on your mobile device to open the app. The first thing you want to do whenever you're getting ready to create a diary or time card, look at the top of the screen and notice the job number. Make sure that you have the right job open. If you have the right job open, go ahead and start on your diary or time card. If you need to open a different job, tap on Select Job and select the job from the list. Recent jobs will be displayed at the top of the list, all available jobs for your location below that. You can scroll the list, or you can use the search feature and just type in either a job number or part of a name and search for the job. Once you have your job selected, go ahead and return to the main screen and you're ready to start your time card. Go ahead and tap on the time card option. The first thing we want to do here is look at a couple different ways that you can automatically fill in your time card. If you have a previous time card in this same job, go ahead and tap on the Copy Pull Info button and copy previous. Heavy Job Mobile will go out, find your previous time card, and copy just the crew and your cost codes to the new time card. You can always modify your crew, you can always modify the cost codes, but this is a quick, easy way to get it start on your time card. Another way to start your time card is if you work at a location that uses the HCSS dispatcher program. The dispatcher typically sends out an electronic file that has your crew already built. In order to take advantage of that feature, you would have to be a foreman in the dispatcher program. You would have to be scheduled to the correct job, the job you have open, with the crew for the date that you're filling out the time card. To check that, you can again tap on the Copy Pull Info button and tap on Pull In Crew. Now, I don't have a crew out there because I'm in the test environment, but if I did have a crew, my employees and equipment would be filled in. No cost codes, just employees and equipment. Of course, the final thing we want to look at is being able to build your time card from scratch. And that's something that everybody needs to know how to do, so we'll focus on that a little bit. It doesn't matter if you add your cost codes first or your crew first, but I typically like to start by tapping on Tap to Add Crew and begin the selection process for my crew. Now, the first thing you want to see here is that you have several options, and we'll go over each of these. If you tap on View Options, you can change the sort order for your employees or your equipment. If you tap on the employee sort, they can sort by name, which would be first name, sort by code, which would be last name, or sort by alt code, which would be their employee number. That third option isn't going to be very meaningful because the employee numbers vary so much, and most of us that have used the Heavy Job program are used to sort by code, which would be last name, then first name. On the equipment, I think the only true option that would be viable would be by code, although you could sort by description. The alt code is the equipment group code, and again, that one would not be very meaningful to too many users. So I'll leave this one set to code. And display equipment by group, I'll keep that turned off because again, unless you're 100% familiar with all the Granite equipment group numbers, that wouldn't be of much value. I've made those selections. And now I want to look at the other option, which is the source. Every job has its own list of employees and equipment, but in addition to that, we also have a master list that we call the library. If you are looking for a particular employee or piece of equipment and the source is set to job and you don't find that employee, go ahead and tap on source and change it to library. There are times when the library has new employees and equipment that have not yet been added to the job, so you may find them here rather than the job source. If you do find somebody here that's in the source library, then go ahead and tap on them, add them to your time card, and they will become part of the job the next time you open or start a time card in this same job. I will change this back to job, go back to the full list, and the last two buttons that we want to look at are the switch between employee and equipment. That's very quick. This is the equipment list. This is the employee list. And you also have a refresh button. If you tap on the green arrows to refresh, Heavy Job Mobile will send a signal back to the cloud and copy down any new employee or equipment data that's been added to the cloud since the last time you refreshed. Now, to build my time card, I'm going to start with the search tool. Search tool, to me, is the fastest way to find an employee or piece of equipment. If I start typing, and I'm going to go off last name, I'm going to find my employee, that's myself, and I tap on that employee to add me to the time card. If I tap on the X in the search tool, it will remove that entry and leave the cursor there. You'll see the little blinking cursor. It's ready to search for another employee. Alternately, you can scroll this entire list of employees and select the employees that you want. Tap on the employee and you'll see that they are moved to the right side of the screen, which means they will be on your time card. So I'm going to add a couple of operators and a laborer. Let's add 2 laborers. Once you get the employees on the time card, the next step is usually to add equipment. So you go ahead and tap on the equipment button, change your list to the equipment list, and start adding equipment. Again, the search tool is valuable here. I'm going to look for a pickup first, so it's a 06 dot, and you can continue typing, or if you see what you're looking for, tap the link button and select the employee to link the equipment to. Every single piece of equipment must be linked to an employee. You cannot add a piece of equipment to a Heavy Job time card that is not linked to an employee. Once I found a pickup, I'm going to go look for an excavator now. I want to type in a 30 and a dot, and that'll bring me to my list of excavators, and I can just look for a small excavator for what I'm going to do today. We've got a 320 out there. I'm going to link that to one of the operators. I'm also going to look for a water truck, and I know that my water truck codes all start with 04, so I type 04 in the search and a period, and I look for the 3-axle water truck, link that to another employee. So basically I have my crew built on the right side of this screen, but there's still some options that I have available here. If I want to rearrange my crew, I can tap on the 3 lines on the right side and drag them up or down to put them in any order that I want. If I tap on a piece of equipment, I can delete that piece of equipment. I can change who that equipment is linked to, and that will bring up the list of all your employees, or you can unlink the equipment. We don't have unlinked equipment on our time card, right? So you would never select that third option. Same options available on the employee. If you tap on them, you can delete that employee from the time card, or you can change their pay class. If you tap on the pay class list, you'll get a list of all the pay classes available for that job. You'll have a search window, which is very handy because some of these pay class lists get pretty extensive, and you can search for and change the pay class for that employee. If you're not seeing a pay class here, or you're not seeing the one you're looking for, tap on the refresh, the 2-arrow refresh, and refresh this list of pay classes. Once you have your crew built and you have them in the order that you want them, go ahead and tap done, and your crew will be added to your Heavy Job mobile time card. You can always go back and tap on the plus here to add more employees and equipment to your time card. And if this list is too long and that plus is not available, then the plus down at the bottom of the screen, add edit crew, takes you to the same place. Now the final thing that we'll look at on this screen is what I would call the extra tab options. If you have ever used the Heavy Job field system, you're familiar with the extra tab. The extra tab was the last tab on the time card, And there were some things that we could do there that were important to how we filled out the time card. If you tap on an employee, that will open up what is basically the extra tab for that employee. You'll have a place to enter notes about that employee. For example, if the employee missed part of the day because they were homesick or they came in late or they had a doctor's appointment, you would want to put that note there. If the employee was entitled to per diem, you would check their per diem checkbox. If the employee was entitled to subsistence, you would tap there and enter the subsistence amount. And from this screen, you can also tap on the pay class to change that employee's pay class. Once you've made your entries here, tap Done, and you can repeat that process for each individual employee as needed. It's important if you use attendance codes with employees that you add the employee note, and it's also important if you're working on a job that qualifies for per diem or subsistence that you tap on that employee to add that per diem or add that subsistence. On the equipment, just tap on the equipment itself and you'll get the same extra tab options that you saw on the heavy job field system. We have a note field for equipment. You can put in notes. If the equipment was broke down for the day or had some kind of issue, you can put in notes about the equipment. On the Heavy Job mobile app, we enter miles for our 06 pickups in the meter on field. The meter on field only. So if you do your 100 miles or whatever your location recommends for your pickup miles, you want to put that in the meter on. The meter off is available. It can be used for odometer readings or hour meter readings for other equipment. But make sure that if you're entering miles that are going to be entered for an 06 truck or some other quantity like concrete, cubic yards for concrete pavers, that goes in the meter on field. Any other equipment, if it's not going to be charged out something other than by the hour, then you can put the odometer reading in the meter off field. And that's it for the creation of the time card. That's as far as we'll go in this video. Thank you.